Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions video of the new Moto E6 for Metro by T-Mobile.
So let's get started.
Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. So here is the Moto E6. Now I just picked this up at my local Metro by T-Mobile retail store, and I actually got this for free because I got a new line. Now the retail price of this device officially is $149.99, but very few people are actually going to pay that full retail price. For example, if you're doing an upgrade, you can currently get this phone for $59.99. If you are porting in from another carrier, you can get this for free. And if you're creating a new line, like I did, you can also get this for free. So no matter what your situation is, you're not going to be paying a whole lot for the Moto E6. Now when I bought this phone, I did have to pay for 1 month of service. I might extend that, I'm not sure though, because I have a bunch of other SIM cards. But out the door, after paying for that 1 month, plus the activation fee and tax, I paid $78, so not a bad deal at all for one of the latest smartphones from Motorola. So here is the box. As you can see, we have the Moto E6 right here on the front. We have Metro by T-Mobile branding at the bottom of the box. Then on the back side, we have some basic specifications about the phone, but I'm going to be going over these throughout the video. Now I did already open up the box and I did already set up the phone because I didn't want to have to do that during this process of recording the video, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be showing you everything that's included in the box. So I'm going to open this up right now. Here is the phone, first thing you see. So I will be putting that off to the side first. Now in the box we have the Moto E6 booklets, which I'm never going to read. We have the micro USB cable, so this device does have micro USB at the bottom, which is a bit of a disappointment, especially in 2019. We have a Motorola branded wall adapter. I have at least 100 of these at this point, and the SIM card. So here is the Moto E6. Now this device features a 5.45-inch display coming in at 720p. It is a pretty good looking display. Everything looks nice and crisp and clear. We are getting an 18:9 aspect ratio with this, so it is a taller and slimmer design, which is pretty common with what we've been seeing in 2019. Personally, I'm a big fan of the 18:9 aspect ratio because it's great for browsing the web, going on social media, and viewing video content. Now this device features a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Then on the back we have a 13 megapixel camera. This device features 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and we do have micro SD card expansion. Now I did already install a couple of extra applications such as the Antutu Benchmark and Temple Run, and I'm pretty sure that neither of those two applications really take up a whole lot of space, but you can see that nearly half of the 16 gigabytes of internal storage has now been taken up. So that's a bit disappointing. I definitely wish this phone did have 32 gigabytes of internal storage, but I suppose you get what you're paying for since this phone is very inexpensive. And you do always have that option of putting in a micro SD card if you wish. Now there is no wireless charging with the device. We also do not have a fingerprint sensor on the back. There's also no facial recognition. So if you want to unlock your phone, you are limited to doing it with the typical traditional PIN code. So that's not a huge deal necessarily, but I can see for some people that are very used to using a fingerprint sensor or maybe even their face to unlock their phone, it might be a nuisance to revert back to using just the PIN code. Now I'm looking forward to getting out there and taking some test photos and videos with the phone, but it does seem like so far the 13 megapixel camera on the rear and the front camera at 5 megapixels actually aren't too bad. So that definitely looks to be one of the positive points with the Moto E6. Now Motorola does have a pretty good reputation of putting pretty decent cameras into their budget phones. So it looks like that tradition is continuing with the Moto E6. Now surprisingly, we do have portrait mode with the rear camera. Pretty interesting to see considering how inexpensive this phone is. Definitely looking forward to getting out there and testing that to actually see how well it works. Now another cool thing too is that you can actually use portrait mode with the front-facing camera. So another really interesting quirk and feature with the Moto E6. Now with the Moto E6 we get 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is a bit disappointing. We get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 435 processor. Another thing that I wish was a little bit better, I would have liked to see the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 with the Moto E6, but it is what it is. This is what we have to live with. and I'm definitely looking forward to doing the benchmark test to include in the full review video later on, so you can get an idea of the kind of speeds that we're going to be getting with this phone. Of course, I'm going to be doing some real life speed tests as well, so that you know what you're getting into if you decide to buy this phone. Now, video recording with the device maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. We do get a 3000 milliamp hour removable battery with the Moto E6. So yes, it is a removable battery, something that's very rare to see in 2019. And to my understanding, this is one of the few devices that Motorola has launched in 2019 that does have a removable battery, because the Moto G7, G7 Power, G7 Play, all those phones do not have a removable battery. They have an internal battery. Now, the Moto E6 runs Android 9 Pie, which is the latest version of Android. It looks like it runs pretty much a stock experience here, which is always a great thing to see. We do have some bloatware pre-installed. We of course have the typical Metro by T-Mobile applications pre-installed here, but I'm sure you would have installed many of those anyway. We also have Facebook on here, but all of this bloatware can be removed, so it's not really a big deal, and there's really not a whole lot on here. I've definitely seen worse in the past. Now, so far, just by going around the device, navigating around here, it does seem like the device is pretty quick and snappy, despite it only having 2 gigs of RAM in the Qualcomm Snapdragon 435. I know that this phone isn't extremely exciting, and in many ways seems to be a downgrade compared to the Moto E5, but I would not write it off quite yet. I definitely want to spend some time with this, use it for a bit, and then make my full review video, and I think at that point I can more confidently recommend it or tell you to get something else. Website, check that out, and here is the device. We'll put this off to the side right now. Now, even though this device is called the Blue Gene, I'm actually pretty impressed so far with the speaker quality on the Moto E6. The speakers sound really good. It gets decently loud. Of course, not as loud as a flagship phone like the Galaxy S10 or the iPhone XS, but I am pretty impressed with the speaker quality. Of course, video viewing on here is great as well, and the display does provide some pretty good looking colors. Now, we do have some pretty thick bezels all around the Moto E6. Starting with the top, we have a pretty thick bezel up there. Then moving down to the bottom, a very massive bezel. You can almost land an airplane on that bezel. It's so big. Now, taking a look at the left side here, we have nothing. Then on the right side, we have the power button and the volume button. Then on the top, we have the noise canceling microphone and 3.5mm headphone jack. Then on the bottom, we have the micro USB port for charging and data transfer. We have the microphone, and we have a little divot here so that you can stick your fingernail in there and pry off the back of the phone. By doing that, you'll then be able to access the micro SD card and SIM card and the battery. Now, we also have the Motorola logo on the back here, we have the camera module, and we have the flash. So, pretty bare bones here, nothing overly exciting, but at the price tag that it is being offered at, you can't really ask for too much. Now, I actually do like this material on the back. It's kind of a nice textured, hard plastic material. It doesn't feel too bad in the hand at all, so I'm definitely a big fan of it. Another nice surprise with the Moto E6 is the haptic feedback. I am really a big fan of the keyboard, and it definitely feels really good to type on. Nice and quick, no delays there. Of course, I haven't loaded up too much extra apps and other things on the phone yet, so maybe that will slow it down. So I'll have to let you know about that in the full review. But let me know what you think of the Moto E6 for Metro by T-Mobile. I know that this phone is also available on Verizon at the moment, and it'll probably be making its way over to other carriers in the future. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing a Moto E6 Play or Moto E6 Plus. At the moment, the only Moto E6 that's available out there is the Moto E6 itself, so we'll have to see about that. But this does seem like a pretty decent device for the price. Of course, it's no flagship, that's for sure. But let me know what you think of the Moto E6 for Metro by T-Mobile. Let me know if you're going to be buying it, and let me know if you already have this phone. But this is Kevin here, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.